Waiting for you, viewers. I trust you are fully recovered. Good, because there's much work to be done. Work that I would have you do. Perception. Alright. The Uldon Envoy. Reborn means to entrust you with a task of utmost import. I prepared these letters for my counterparts in the Eorzean Alliance. "5 years ago, we looked on, powerless, as our brothers and sisters were taken from us at Cartano, first by the Garleans, then by the thrice-damned Primal, called forth by their treachery. Not a day goes by that I do not think of my fallen comrades. Warriors of light, of whom grace remained. Tragedies of the Calamity are not so easily forgotten, nor should they be. Remembering all that we've lost, we're reminded of what we still have. And I so mean to mark the 5th anniversary of the Battle of Cartano with the memorial service honoring the fallen. It is my hope that my counterparts in the Alliance will agree to do the same. I would have you bear my words to them as my personal envoy. Why you? Because your deeds mark you out as the nearest thing I have to a warrior of light. I can think of none more worthy of the role. The question is, will you accept it?" Nod. "Then it is agreed. You will journey to Gridania and Limsa as my official representative. Now that's a great many miles to travel, but I've neither the time nor patience to wait around while you do it on foot. I hereby grant you permission to use the airship routes connecting the 3 cities. Pass serves as proof of your privilege. Gone are the days when airship travel was to all. The ever-present threat of Imperial attack has forced us to impose drastic restrictions out of concern for public safety. These passes are only granted when the circumstance demands it, as in this. But there were others who insisted you granted one regardless. I, viewers, I am not alone in seeing it. Your potential is plain. I have said enough. In the name of the Sultana, I bid you go forth. See for yourself the wonders of the realm for which the warriors of light risked all. Rise to your calling and fulfill your promise. Should your path be barred by man or beast, strike fast and true, for victory belongs to the bold. Now go, viewers. Heed the crystal guidance should you ever lose. Alright. You haven't seen him. Cool. Okay. Side note, Final Fantasy XIV uses the Imperial system. When it says malms, that's equivalent to miles. Ilms, inches, and yalms, yards. Interesting choice. Considering Imperial system is... Oh, back from your meeting with Reborn, are you? What did the big man have to say? Is that a fact? Personal envoy of the Flame General himself. You'll be bearing the great man's words to the leaders of the Alliance, will you? And by airship. Bugger me, that's an honor and a half it is. But I can't think of anyone who deserves it more. I'm proud of you, viewers. I truly am. Now, I dare say Reborn had told you this, but not many people get to go on airships. In fact, most folks go to their graves having never once seen Eorzea from above. Poor buggers shuffle off to meet Thal, never having known the blue Lominsa's shimmering seas or the myriad greens of leafy Gridania. Not you, viewers. You'll see those sights and more. Everywhere you go, you'll find fascinating folks with fascinating tales to tell. People you meet, the places you go, savor these experiences. They are priceless, all. Saying that, it'd be remiss of me if I didn't remind you to be careful out there. Ul'dah ain't the only place beset by troubles, as you'll discover when you visit Limsa. Truth be told, that might well be exactly what the General wants you to realize. I think he knows what kind of man you are, Vior. And what kind's that, you ask? Why, the kind that can't resist sticking his nose in other people's business, of course. Don't you ever go changing. Safe travels, Viewers. I'll see you when you get back. Alright. Wrong setting. System configuration. That's what I'm looking for. System? Nah, it's in character. Bye. Oh, okay. There's a setting I want to make sure I don't lose track of. Display settings. Could have been there. Sorry, give me a moment. I don't want to skip any of the extra settings or extra cutscenes. Those are kind of fun. Character, nope. Okay. There we go. We got it. I don't want it to skip any of the cutscenes, like when you go into a dungeon or whatnot. They kind of show you a little exploration of the location at hand. This one's tricky for new players because, where's the quest marker? You have to ride the airship. You have to go to the lift. They don't really give you an icon for it. There it is. Right up here. Off we go. Greetings, sir. This is the reservation counter for passengers traveling to Limsa. If I'm not mistaken, you are the Flame General's envoy, Vior Nars, yes? If Highwind Skyways is at your service, you'd be flying with us today. Here we go. Entering the next area. Board the airship. Attention all passengers, the airship bound for Limsa is about to depart. Please make your way to the boarding gate. This is a classic Final Fantasy theme. When we first met beneath his sultanry, I sensed there was something unusual about him. Wonder if they will feel the same. He sits on his arm like a parrot. Hilarious. If I'm right, they'll be singing your praises from here to the far reach before long. Always walk in the light of the crystal. Ah, Castrum Ox. Listen to that ominous music.
but the bitter taste of defeat lingers still. 15 years since the Imperial fleet set course for Mordona, led by the Egrios, mightiest of all vessels. Silver Till lay ripe for the taking, and all of Eorzea would soon be ours. Or so we believed. But an innumerable host of dragons met us that day, at the heart of which flew the great Midgard Zormer. Though we succeeded in slaying that lord among worms, the dread serpent's defeat was bought at too high a price. Our invincible flagship was lost, and all hope of victory with her. So ended our glorious conquest.
I bet his breath smells like ham.
Eorzea, a blighted realm, riddled with false gods. Twice now it has eluded the Empire's grasp. For all the destruction it wrought, even Meteor, the great sin, failed to yield us control over it. And for this failure, the realm has sunk deeper into depravity. It is twisted beyond all reckoning, rotten nigh to the core. Yet, it must be saved. Only Garlean rule can bring order to Eorzea. It falls to us to deliver the misguided masses from their ignorance.
We are of one mind, Lord Van Balzar.
Now what is that? Scary tail-looking thing.
Senior engineers, please report to Magitech Research following scheduled inspection.
You don't see those ships very often in the game.
Hey, is the Legatus really planning to take another tilt at Eorzea?
Hey? What hole have you been hiding in? We're in the midst of preparing for a new campaign, and a huge one at that.
Uh-oh.
But I thought the Emperor had given up the Western lands for lost after Cartano. What could the Legatus possibly hope to gain by acting alone?
I sense you harbor certain doubts over the wisdom of the Legatus' plan.
My lord!
Please, call me Nero. Tell me, where were you born?
Othard, my lord.
Alamigo, my lord.
Ah, codename Hummingway, I presume?
I don't know what you...
Silence. Your denials will not change your fate. I assure you, Frumentarium sees all.
To be fair, I don't remember some...
Clean up this mess, and do not miss any, or I shall be most displeased.
Howdy!
My lord.
I never realized how fast
Garland.
Nero took off his helmet.
Soon you will be made to know the true power
Took
of
like
Magitech.
2 minutes. That, if you noticed on his forehead, there was a little, that kind of silvery, not quite eye. It looks almost like a gem. That's a trait of Garleans. Garleans are not capable of manipulating ether, which is what magic is done with in this franchise. In Final Fantasy XIV, Garleans can't use magic. They tend to be taller and physically stronger, but they have no ability magic, which is core to basically everything in this game. Why they'll never let you play as a Garlean. Ah, you must be the envoy from Ul'dah. Welcome to Limsa, sir. Admiral, Oh boy, Seawolf names. One of the Rogadin groups. Admiral Blofswin. That sounds rightish. Blofswin. Yeah. Alright. Now we are in the city of Limsa. You're the Ul'dah envoy? Welcome to Limsa. The Admiral has been looking forward to your arrival. Please proceed to the Crow's Lift at your earliest convenience. It will take you to Bulwark Hall. Once there, pray speak with Xanthael. He will be pleased to show you in to the Admiral's command room on the bridge. Alright. Let's go to... Yeah, it's probably my favorite, too. Let's go to the Drowning Wench first. That's the inn in Limsa. There's the innkeep. If you start in Limsa, this guy is the equivalent to Momodi, the Lalafellan woman who helped you out. And here it is, Limsa. Over there you see the Lenosha, the island that located on. The Aetheryte. It's built on a series of small islands. Just off the coast. Well, not even off the coast, basically. Background. Very cool. See all the paths. And it is an absolute labyrinth. Really get used to it. This side, not so bad, but once you get to the other area, each city tends to be split into two different zones. Loading screen in between. The upper decks, not so bad. The lower decks get a little confusing. I went to the wrong place. A little on point. But listen to that. Fantastic music. Alright, back we go. Okay. Like our nearest. I should actually swap out my boots. Rider boots increase the duration of your sprint effect. So if I'm wearing those when I use it, I can keep uptime. Now this map, a little bit of a labyrinth. There are stairs down here. I believe this is connected rather than this being. Make that mistake. A very confusing structure. But it's pretty cool. Great city. It's a favorite among most of the players, as you'll be able to see when we approach the Aetheryte. all of these players here. Uh-oh. That bard was using their in-game instrument to play real-world copyrighted music. The guy lying on the ground over there, he's a staple of my server's community. You have people like that in every server. People who are landmarks. Just lying there. Seemingly doing nothing. I think I've asked someone else that question before. There's almost always on most servers specific players who you always see just hanging out here, probably chatting with friends or whatnot. But they're essentially set there. MCA. Sorry, got distracted. Alright, anyway, yes, everything seems to be in order. My apologies, we cannot afford to be complacent, you understand. Please, step this way.
Enter. So the silver-tongued merchants send an adventurer to speak for them. It appears the Uldans place great faith in you. This way.
Oh, were they? Yikes, I might have to mute
I
it.
bid you welcome.
Thanks for the heads up.
I am Melve Blufisvin, Admiral of
As per
Lisa
usual,
Lorenza,
there's almost always someone
Commander
playing
of the
copyrighted
Maelstrom.
music.
Now, what news from Thanalan?
Seven hells, has it been 5 years? 5 years since the Gurlian Empire sought to wrest Eorzea from our grasp. It was an answer to the imperial threat that the city-states formed the Grand Companies, the Eorzean Alliance, and but Garlemald was not content to wager all on a simple contest of might and other plans, the Meteor Project. The goddess Nael van Darnus, hell's take him, intended to cleanse our realm by snatching the lesser moon, Dalmud, from the heavens and casting it down upon our heads. Desperate to prevent this lunatic scheme, we marched our forces to the Cartano Flats. There met the 7th Imperial Legion in battle. Never have I seen a fight like the Battle of Cartano, and I have seen full many. But though we gave no quarter, spared not one ounce of effort, could not prevent what followed. From inside the shell of Dalmud came a winged nightmare, dragon the size of a bloody city. It was the elder primal Bahamut, bent on making an hell of Eorzea. In the space of a breath, legions of the Empire were set aflame, while our own armies fared little better. It was as if the whole world was burning. Words cannot well describe the scene. Yet by some miracle, a few among us were spared. Even as I steeled myself for death, a blinding white light enveloped me, robbing me of my senses. When I regained them, the dragon was gone, and the land was warped beyond all-knowing. Were Archon Louisoix still with us, he would doubtless shed light on these unfathomable happenings. Alas, he is not, and I fear we will hunt for his wisdom in the days to come. For while our nation struggled to recover from the devastation, Beastmen call forth the damned primals to torment us anew. Unless we put aside our differences and rebuild now, our foes will catch us unprepared. And I speak not only of the Beastmen. Do not imagine that the Empire has forsaken its claim on Eorzea. The Imperials crowd our borders, waiting to strike. Damn it all, we need champions to replace those we lost. But such thoughts are worse than worthless. Time is short and none will save us, save ourselves. It is the duty of every soul who survived the calamity to work together for the good of Eorzea. This memorial service may be the very thing to unite us. Aye, Reborn has the right of it. I accept his proposal. All right. Your duty is done here, adventurer. I will see to it that the Flame General receives my reply. We'll travel to Gridania, yes? Pray give my regards to the Elder Seed Seer. Oh, and tell her Wolf has been sniffing around the stables. A private jest and one in poor taste, but I would have you tell it all the same. Fare you well, viewers. May the Navigator guide you on your journey. Alright. So. Oh, wait. Speak with, Lenoflo at the airship landing. Alright. So we'll go back to the airship landing. And prepare to travel to Gridania. And off we go. Very exciting. All three of the cities are amazing. Music of Gridania. Good to listen to. Alright. Ah, you must be the envoy from Ul'dah. Welcome to Gridania, sir. The Elder Seed Seer awaits your arrival. Landing area? Greetings, good sir. You are the Ul'dah envoy, are you not? I've received instructions to assist you. Pray make your way to the city proper and identify yourself to the conjurer at Nufka's altar. He will admit you to the Lotus Stand, where the Elder Seed Seer awaits. Now, fun lore about Gridania, it's a city built with the permission of forest spirits, basically. They're referred to as the elementals. Kind of nature spirits, to some degree. They are whimsical and terrifying. So that's kind of one of the reasons it's such a nature-oriented station. Because most of their major things have to be done in cooperation, or at least with the permission of these terrifying, absurd and kind of very outsider. I mean, I feel like that would solve some problems and make a lot more. Wait, there's another one here. For the event. Yeah, Halloween event. Yes, there is a Halloween event in February going on right now. They didn't do it in October, and then they had to do the holiday event, then the New Year's event, and so here we are in February. Well, it was late January with the Halloween event still up. That's why pumpkins, you know, usual. A lot of little side roads in Gridania. Just a really gorgeous place. Gonna do a little bit of an exploration of it. Why not? Don't worry, I remembered the Strider's boots this time. This is the Archers Guild. Archers Guild. Double checking. Sometimes I mix up the Lancers Guild and the Archers Guild. So they're like directly on opposite sides. The zone design in this game is really fantastic. Pumpkins, a building, a very long building. Rosewood stalls. You know, it's kind of funny. All the places, Gridania has indoor markets. I think Ul'dah is the only one with outdoor markets, although they're in a very arid location, so they don't have to worry about things like rain. Makes sense. Just fun to think. Fun to consider. It's amazing they think up all of these little things like that. I can't think of any serious, like, culture plot holes. I almost never go up here because there is basically no reason to go up here. Very well decorated. Maybe even better than the amphitheater. And here's Upkalu Falls, I believe. Turn that sprint back on. And we'll check by the Minkydo Amphitheater. Really cool little, it's where they do a lot of the events in-game. A lot of the events are done in this area. Hear the music change even. Very Halloween decorated. Our location should be just south of here, near the Conjurers. There we are. Silent Conjurer. You are the Old Dawn Envoy? Begging your pardon, sir. Might I inspect the missive you bear? They're pretty loud for silent. Verily, this is the seal of the Supreme Commander of the Immortal Flames. Please come with me.
So you are the Ul'dah Envoy. On behalf of our fair nation, I bid you welcome. Please. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Khan-e Senna, Elder Seedseer of Gridania, and leader of the Order of the Twin Adder, our nation's grand company. I understand you bear a message from the Flame General.
Notice how that girl has horns. It's actually directly tied into the elementals. Remembrance service for the... Okay, tell me, adventurer, what do you know of our conflict with the Empire? It would seem my counterparts recounted the tale in some detail. That as well. A message from the Admiral. Wolf has been sniffing around her stables. I see. Well, I shall be pleased to provide her with such counsel as I am able. But first, friend of my friend, I would tell you more of the Garlean threat. Yikes. For the greater part of history, Garlemald was not even among its most influential nations. Ilsabard, and continent. However, its innovations in the field of magitech some years past helped raise it from the depths of obscurity. Emboldened by this technology, set out subjugating its neighbors, swiftly absorbing each expanding territory. When all of Ilsabard lay within its grasp, it turned its ravenous gaze upon Eorzea. Yet Garlemald's transformation did not come about by virtue of magitech alone. Its success owed much to the consummate leadership of its first and reigning emperor. Solus Zos Galvus, the man who built an empire in his own lifetime. Yet he has lived long, and after more than 80 winters, it is said that he grows frail, ever more prone to illness. Rumors are to be believed. The matter of succession has destabilized the court. This would explain the Empire's relative inactivity and has granted us much-needed time to rebuild. Yet we cannot allow ourselves to become complacent, for Garlemald still maintains a presence in Eorzea, form of the 14th Imperial Legion. Commanding this great host is Legatus Gaius van Baelsar, a man whose ambitions are well known to us. As long as he breathes Eorzean air, none of us may sleep easy. The calamity reached such devastation upon the realm that all we could do was our wounds. Never mind rebuild our defenses. Simply put, we have not the strength to repel the Empire. To add to our woes, the beast tribes continue to summon their primals, whose very existence is bane upon the land. Each nation is beset with its own primal problem, and has the resources to look beyond its own borders. The Admiral desires my counsel regarding a brazen wolf. He means to tell me that the Empire may soon resume its advance. Though the primals pose an undeniable threat to our survival, the threat posed by Garleans is greater still. Clearly, each nation can no longer afford to that which occurs within its own borders. A storm gathers upon the horizon. If we are to weather it, we must needs stand united once more. Remembrance service may help to rekindle a spirit of unity which brought the peoples of each together, and last the Empire threatened our liberty. The Flame General was wise to make his proposal, and I wholeheartedly approve of it. The necessary provisions shall be made for service here in Gridania. Work here is done, my friend. I shall send my reply to the Flame General forthwith. Thank you for coming. May the 12 see you home safely. Alright. Now the significance of the horns is that they are functionally the representatives of the elementals in Gridon. The people with the horns. They are actually heroes that have been altered by the elemental. Which in its own way is kind of disturbing, because they are mutated as children. And it slows their aging, so they have an very, very long life. And can continue to perform their role for extensive. We now make use of the airship route connecting the nations. To board an airship, you must pay the requisite gil. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to teleport. Serpent Officer has information that may be of interest to you. I pray your meeting with the Elder Seedseer went well. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but did you not also deliver a message to Admiral Erlwib of Lominsa? While you were there, did you happen to meet Boderon, the proprietor of the Drowning Wench? Hey, Boderon! Gregarious gentleman, always happy to help his fellow man. Well, I'm told that he has a task for a capable adventurer. I know not what the task entails, but I dare say the Flame General's personal envoy will be a fine candidate. If you are interested in learning more, pray speak with Badaron at his establishment. Alright, I'll go there right now! Drowning Wench. The closest teleport there is the Aft Castle. Wonder what happens at level 15. 16. 15. I think it happens at 16. What's up, Badaron? Welcome to the Drowning Wench. Sit wherever you like, mate. I'll be with you in a... I am Badaron. Alright, who's asking? Alright. Have a good meeting. See you later. Ah, heard as I've got a job for a capable adventurer, you say? Well, you're bloody right. Just so you're fairly warned, though, this job ain't for the faint of heart. Things are liable to get downright bleedin' airy. But if you think you're still interested, let me know and I'll fill you in on the details. Here we go. You have completed the quest A Realm Reborn Part 1, exiting New Game Plus mode. Alright. So I believe it's time to start New Game Plus Part 2. In the midst of touring the 3 city-states and witnessing the myriad problems besetting the realm, an adventurer has a chance encounter with a member of the enigmatic Scions of the Seventh Dawn. An invitation to their base of operations, the Waking Sands, promises to shed light upon the mystery of the Echo and more. The Echo is what caused our character to collapse early. Here we go. Badaron, the proprietor of the Drowning Wench, has need of a capable adventurer. I thank you for taking the time to help me out. Now, I'm sure you're busy, so I'll come straight to the point. Word has it that some suspicious-looking buggers have been sneaking in and out of the Sestasha Sea Grot, and I need a trustworthy sort to head up north of Aleport and find out who they are and what they're up to. Don't sound like much, I know. But it weren't so long ago as the Fishbacks pet pirates paid us an unwelcome visit, and folks are feeling a bit nervous. If you would permit me, Master Badaron, I should be happy to elaborate. This guy. I don't remember him. Well, if it ain't the Chief Yellowjacket himself, to what do I owe this rare honor, Commodore Reiner? To make sure my patrons are behaving, or just thirsty? Neither. In fact, I was informed that you had requested an adventurer to assist in my investigation, and I came to offer what information I could sift from reports. Over the course of the past moon, there have been several sightings of an unfamiliar vessel off the coast of Aleport in the vicinity of the Isles of Umbra. Information came to my attention no more than a few weeks after the squad of my own soldiers had completed a routine patrol of the region, the Sestasha Sea Grot included. Their search revealed little, save that a family of Coworls had taken up their residence in the caves. Nothing to concern us, in short. In light of recent developments, however, it would seem wise to search Sestasha again. With the Sahagan testing our defense daily, I am loath to assign the task to the resources at my disposal. Our line is stretched as it is. Thus I sought the services of a competent adventurer to conduct an investigation in our stead. Any aid you can offer in this matter would be greatly appreciated. Then it is settled. Sestasha is located in western Lenosha. For more detailed instructions on how to reach the place, I suggest you consult Melpa. It can be found at the ferry docks on the lower decks. You heard the man. Good luck to you, lad. Alright. Quest. It's probably pirates. The fastest way to get there would be to go to the fisherman. Oh, here we go. Right over here. Someone's fishing. Nice. You hear about Commodore Rhino's investigation? Then you'll want to board a ferry bound for Ailport. Once you arrive in Western Lenosha, though, you'd best pay a visit to the Hall of the Novice before you blunder into Sestasha. The Adventurers Guild runs the hall, and the folks there will prepare you, train you with the skills you need to face the dangers undoubtedly waiting for you in the Sea Grot. The hall is on the way to Sestasha, just north of Ailport. Head inside, and one of their seasoned adventurers will take you in hand. Best of luck to you, friend. That's so that you know your role. You don't know your job role. In dungeons, it can get sticky if everyone's at level. Now, when I started the game, they didn't have that. That was not a thing. This wasn't even a building. Building was added after. Well, after. Oh man, this feels like the old Final Fantasy tutorial rooms. The way the people are lined up and everything. Ah, you must be the adventurer of whom the Yellow Jackets sent word. I hear you are to brave the depths of the Sestasha Sea Grot. Occupants of those caves are rumored to be as numerous as they are bloodthirsty. No matter what epic tales would have you believe, strolling into a den of such savagery alone would be the height of foolishness. No, you shall need companions. And you shall need the training we here at the Novice, all of the Novice can provide. I strongly suggest that you study the fundamentals of group combat before continuing your mission. The Smith here oversees the training schedules. Speak with him and you can register for the exercises tailored to your particular field of expertise. When you have mastered all that our masters have to teach, then it will be time to head north once more. Report to the Yellow Jacket scout at the mouth of the Sestasha Sea Grot. He will furnish you with the details of your duty. Okay, bye. So, okay. If you're in a party, you can see you have an icon based on your class, and it has a different color. There are 3 colors. Blue, which refers to the tank role. Green, which refers to the healer role. And red, which refers to the DPS role. Everyone kind of has a different job in the dungeons, although they all end up being defeating everything and surviving. But tanks take less damage. So if you can get all the enemies onto the tank, then all the enemies will be dealing less damage, and healers are designed to heal the party. So, if the tank is the only one taking damage, it's a lot easier to heal one person who's taking less damage than it is to heal a bunch of people who are taking significant damage. Sure, you'd get probably more damage on the tank than you would if it was spread around, but it's a lot easier to single target heal than it is to target multiple. Please tell me you're here on Yellow Jacket duty and not some daft sod out for a stroll. I can't take any more of this blasted waiting. You are? Thank the gods. I assume you already know about the ship seen slipping around the Isles of Umbra? We've been on the lookout for pirate activity since that vessel was sighted, thinking a crew of cutthroats might have a den nearby. But when we received word that men of questionable quality had been seen passing in and out of Sestasha here, we weren't entirely surprised. I've yet to see them for myself, but if this lot belongs to those fishback fancy and serpent reavers, well, you can imagine the panic it'll cause. The kidnappings are still fresh in people's minds. Anyway, your task is to poke around the caves and find out exactly who we're dealing with. While you do that, I'll be keeping watch out here, praying you don't spot any blue face tattoos. Duty finder to enter Sestasha. There are NPCs around here. I'm pretty sure there are NPCs around here. Oh, yeah, look! Levine? Or Leavine? Waha, Edo, you're so slow you'd lose a foot race to a tree slug. This is perfect for our inaugural outing as a party. Wandering around in the caves, turning over a few rocks. How difficult could it possibly be? Never expected our first visit to the Adventurers Guild would yield such a straightforward way to win fame and fortune. What took you so bloody long, Etta? If me purse was too light, you might have considered using some of your own bleeding coin to get us what we need. You've only ever been as useful as the contents of your pockets. God knows you can barely heal a scratch. We took up the adventure in life to take on the big jobs and claim the big rewards. How are we meant to do that if we can't even get our supplies in order? It's him. one Balaram was talking to. But we'll see who gets the glory. This job should have been ours in the first place. Sorry, Avera, I came as fast as I could. I tried haggling with the merchant, but 2 potions was the best I could get with the money you gave me. I had no idea how expensive they were. Well, that's a mess. Uh-oh. Alright, so we're going to do unrestricted party. We're just going to go in unsynced and roll through the dungeon. Normally, when you go into a dungeon, it syncs down your level to something kind of in range. Let's see. If you can look at the requirements on the right window, it says on the 6th line, 3, 4, 5, 6th line, level 15, so you have to be level 15 to get in. Sync from 18, meaning at level, I believe, 18, or at level 19, it'll put you down to 18, or is it at 8, down to 17? And functionally, when you do regular Duty Finder, it'll put you at that level. The stats of those level and that gear level. Alright, here we go. First dungeon, Sestasha. We're going in solo. I'm going in level 90. It's going to be face roll easy. Dungeons aren't normally like this. Yeah, you're not supposed to one-shot things. And you normally won't. Each dungeon kind of has its own little puzzles or something, usually. You find a blood-stained scrap of parchment with a message scrawled upon it in faded ink. Captain likes his wine red. That he does, apparently. Red. Interesting. Ran off too fast. There we go. Those clamshells only take damage while they're open. You can see the list of enemies that are aggressive towards me on the left. The red icon means that I am their primary target. Tanks deal they deal lower damage than DPS, but they also generate more aggro. I believe 10 times currently. Earlier it said the captain likes his wine red. Blue. Red. Interesting. Inconspicuous switch. Boss dead. That's the first mini-boss. That one teaches you to get out of AoEs. Glowing yellow areas that will damage you. This one teaches you about fighting multiple enemies during a boss fight. Or at least on paper it does. First they teach you about puzzles, then they teach you about keys next. Shallow Scale Reaper drops a captain's quarters key. There's the captain's quarters right up there. A Wave Rider Gate key. Now the Wave Rider Gate is on the left over here. But we're gonna check out the other areas. The whole... little prison they got going. Turning. Free everybody. And this is my favorite room in the dungeon. Get them gropers off me grog. Because they just start fighting each other. You walk in here, and they just start fighting each other. Couple other rooms around and about. Oh, forgot about these guys. There's guys in each room. You know, just not much. I think there's a treasure chest in at least one of them. Treasure chest in the hole. I believe there's a treasure chest in that room on the left. The gear from here is actually purchasable. You can buy it on the market board. Sell it on the market. Sells for next to nothing, but it's just nice to have that availability. And we'll check one more over here. As you get further and further into the game, you'll notice that they tended to make areas more of a line than a winding path. Dungeons are just a cave with an entrance, one path, end. But currently they are, I mean, still kind of, but not as much. Might you consider a parley? Now, interestingly enough, there is one enemy in this dungeon that is... I'm pretty sure it's an outside enemy. They remove it? Nah, I think it's this... Yeah, it's that scurvy dog. That scurvy dog, I believe, is, an outdoor enemy, which is funny. Enemies you find on the outside and not in dungeons tend to be a lot weaker for their comparable level because they're not designed to be fought by a single player. That one's just a weird one. All right, in we go. I think they might have changed that one up too. That's your first encounter with Sagan. This fight has mechanics. If you look at those unnatural ripples on the sides, as you go into the fight, they'll eventually start to see how there's water bouncing out of them. Later on, it fills up, it bounces up higher, and enemies will spawn from it. Now that doesn't happen anymore because people just burn the boss. But that's... Back when the game was released, people had to handle ads, prevent ads from spawning by doing that. Alright. I do not want that. There we go. We have completed the first dungeon in the game. Speak with Baderon at the Drowning Wench. It'd be nice if I could get through the first sequence of dungeons. Funny enough, that'll usually get you to a high enough level for the next dungeon. Dungeons are worth a lot of experience. Maybe I should have checked to see if the those four were there. Aye, such a task was on the books. Was, mind. I'm afraid that ship has already sailed, friend. Loris Bear. Ah, might you be the adventurer who accepted the job of investigating Sastasha? Odd. It would seem the ship has not only sailed, but now returns to harbor. None the worse for its voyage. Goody. Dragged our boots too long on this one. No matter, the wheel will turn and our chance will come. You are right, of course, but there shall be no rest until we have attained our goal, lofty though it may be. Not a wink of sleep, great leader. Our aim, lest you wonder, is to perform such feats of heroism that will earn us a place in the songs of every alehouse in Eorzea. We mean to write a legend which will inspire adventurers as yet unborn to follow our shining example. Do you have such a goal? Large or small, it matters not. Only have a star to reach for, and you will reach higher. Purpose can sustain you through times of hardship. Keep your eye on the prize, and all obstacles will be overcome in time. You would not think to stride into battle unclad, would you? Well, goals are as arms and armor for the spirit. I wish you a fortune in your endeavors, sir. Dolorous Bear seems nice. Back then, are you? With all your limbs and a tail? Hell. Fishbacks. There I was thinking you'd only have to crack a pirate skull or two. 3. 7 hells. You turn your back for 5 bloody minutes and the scaly bastards have set up shop on your bleeding doorstep. Still, sounds like you left them in pieces, so I don't suppose they'll be carrying out whatever mischief they was planning. Unless they plan on feeding themselves to the fauna of Sastasha, of course. Any roads, all's well that ends well. On behalf of Limsa, I thank you for shedding some light on this mystery. Lived up to your reputation, and I couldn't ask for more than that. Now, I'll bet you're dying for a rest. But just in case you're not, I was wondering if you might be interested in taking on another job. Just so happens I've had a request from our sister guild in Gridania, see? Seems the forest folk are in need of an adventurer who can get things done. For them to ask for help like this, you can bet the task won't be no skip, though, through a sunny glade. But after the way you dealt with our fishback infestation, I doubt it's anything you can't handle. Give us a shout when you're ready. I'll lay it out for you. It was pirates. It was definitely pirates. Party Finder unlocked. Party Finder allows you to, recruit people for them. Find a party. Call of the Forest. Alderaan has information on a new task. Ready to hear about the job, then? Like I said, the request comes from our sister guild in Gridania. And that's all I know. But whatever it is you get asked to do, I somehow doubt it'll pose any trouble for adventurers to survive the bleeding bedlam in Stasha. If you think you might be interested, you'll want to have words with Mother Mion, your counterpart in Gridania. Good luck, mate. New Gridania. That 30-second sprint in. Take a seat wherever you like, friend. Our waitresses will come to take you... Oh, not here to dine? There, I hope you're the adventurer that Balderon sent word about. You are. The matron be praised. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mion, and the Carline Canopy is my place. regard to the task in question, there's a fair bit to tell. Let me know when you're ready to hear the details, and I shall brief you. Miona is waiting to brief you on your task. Alright, here we go. Ready for that briefing? Good. Now then, here's the long and short of it. Beg pardon for interrupting, Mion, but our guest grows ever more our need grows ever more pressing. Have none stepped forward? And good evening to you too, Bowlord. Your need must be pressing indeed, for you to honor us with a visit. The good news is, your journey hasn't been wasted. I'm pleased to report that we have a volunteer at last, and one who comes highly recommended at that. My thanks for answering the call, friend. My name is Lewin, and I lead the men and women of the God's Quiver. Now, time is of the essence, so I shall proceed directly to the heart of the matter. We wish for you to nip a potential threat to Gridania in the bud. Beneath the central shroud, there lies an underground burial site called the Tamtara Deepcroft. The place was once a Gelmoran settlement. We Gridanians have long interred our dead there. Of late, however, shadowy figures have been seen skulking about the Deepcroft, and with ever-increasing regularity. Based upon the accounts of various witnesses, we suspect these individuals belong to the Lambs of Dalamud, a doomsday cult which sprung up prior to the calamity. These zealots have proven themselves dangerous in the past. Leave them to their own devices at our peril. Ordinarily, I would have dispatched my best men to scour the Deepcroft with orders to flush the cultists out. Alas, the calamity decimated our ranks. Limited forces at my disposal are constantly required to keep the Ixal at bay. The birdmen have grown restless of late, and I fear a storm may be brewing. In anticipation of this, I have been compelled to spread our forces throughout the Twelveswood, lest we be taken unawares. The situation so being, we must turn to others to deal with the Lambs of Dalamud. We rely on you to undertake this task, friend. You have my gratitude. Once you've seen to your preparations, pray make your way to the Deepcroft and identify yourself to the guard posted at the entrance. We'll apprise you of the latest developments. That is all. Be careful out there, you hear? May the crystal guide you keep you. Alright. Entrance to the teleport to Bent Branch Meadows. Nice place, right nearby. If you started in Gridania, it's one of the earlier Aetherites you'll get. Let's run there. Get a look at the Deepcroft for ourselves. This appears to be it. Here we are, the God's Quiver bow. You're of Nars, I take it. Thanks for helping us out, friend. No doubt the Bowlord has already informed you, but your task is to enter the Deepcroft and purge it of the Lambs of Dalamud. In case you're unfamiliar with them, the Air Cult emerged shortly before the Calamity put an end to the 6th Astral Era. Cultists took the Lesser Moon Dalamud for their god, believing it would deliver them from the devastation. And so they were rather disappointed when Dalamud exploded into 1,000 flaming pieces before it could consent. Now, having seen their god turn to ash, one would think that the cultists might feel moved to question their faith. On the contrary, it served only to stoke the flames of their fanaticism. The Lambs of Dalamud are convinced that heretics, that is to say, everyone but them, interfered with the coming of their Lord and Savior, and that it's now their sacred duty to avenge him. Whatever it is they're doing in the Deepcroft, you may be sure that no good will come of it. For the sake of Gridania and the Eorzea at large, put an end to their madness. Tamtara Deepcroft, now accessible. Is there anyone to talk with around here? Skeletons? Kind of funny that they're just chilling there with skeletons around. Hey, it's Dolores Bear! So we meet again. I cannot say I'm surprised to see you here. You took the prize back in Limsa, but this time we will give you better sport, where I am no true adventurer. God, I hate mausoleums. It's not right to disturb the dead in their slumber. Think of our gold, sister. One day our adventure will be the stuff of song, and it will all be worth. Uh-oh. I think what might have happened to us, but I not thought to pick the fruit I stumbled across on the way here. Sometimes he has too much vigor for his own good. It is supposed to mellow us, but if anything, it's made him. I understand his desire to make use of the time left to him, but one misstep and there won't be any. This curiosity prompted me to offer the fruit probably unfound. My adventure well have ended in this place. Always look before you leave. In my haste, this most fundamental rule of adventuring is mind. I do believe I shall rest here a while. Probably good. Take a peek around. No one else? Everyone? Okay, cool. In we go. It'll be under the same settings as before. If anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know. People who worshipped Solomon would find a giant sphere to put in their dungeon. And how many times I've been in here. I have this place basically memorized. They'll just run. I kind of want to show it off though, so yeah. Got these interesting little side rooms. Little stagnant water pools. I think the pools of stagnant water are probably the most dangerous thing in this place. Surprised those guys didn't even notice me. Cultist orb. It appears to be holding that up. Let's see if we can take that down. Light of the Imperial Field. Got the side room over here. I believe the side room over here can drop an accessory. There can be an accessory in this treasure chest. Tomb of King Galvanth the Dominator. Yeah. That's grim. Huh. Is there any lore about him? Anything significant? I can't think of any. I didn't know you could use Icarus to dash to an enemy. That's interesting. One of the stage moves. Alright, would you look at that? We're almost done with this play. So we've stopped most of their cultist activities, it seems. Oh, but there are a few left. Holding up that big, mysterious dark orb at the top of the dungeon. Find out about that. Octaville the Unforgiving. Well, why would he be forgiving? We killed their god. Everyone else did. They blew it up. Brought the dragon out that then proceeded to destroy everybody else. And some of them probably. Summons me from the void to reside within this crew. He's not very happy. Like, they rezzed him and it's like, nah. Come hither, children of the dawn. The undying master will drink deep tonight. So, Galvanth does some interesting stuff. See, he's currently invulnerable. These tethers make him invulnerable. So you have to destroy those, and he summons other enemies each time. Not a very handsome fellow, to be honest. All right, so we're going all around helping the city-states. Maybe we'll get to go back to Ul'dah soon. I think the best minion to go with at this point might be... Look at that. Just like the boss. What a creepy little octopus squid thing. In any case, back to Gudrun. Back to Gridania. Third time's the charm. Okay. Welcome back, viewers. I'm reliably informed that your foray into the Deep Croft was a success. Nor did I expect anything less. Lateron's ringing endorsement left me little in doubt of your capabilities. Even so, you are to be commended. Warlord Lewin asked me to pass on his thanks. Must say, it's something of a relief to be able to call upon such a capable adventurer. Sadly, death has become an ever more common occurrence within our fraternity of times being what they are, the guild is constantly hard-pressed to find enough hands to deal with them all. While this means no shortage of work for able souls such as yourself, it also provides ample opportunity for the inexperienced to overreach predictable consequences. As if to illustrate the point. Those are the three I saw in front of Sastasha. Aver's gone and it's all your fault. If it hadn't taken you an age to heal him, he would still be alive. But I tried. He bolted out of range before I could finish the spell. Poor Edda. Shouldn't have been so hard-pressed in the first place. We should have done more to lighten his burden. Ah, to hell's with this pathetic excuse for a party. I'm leaving and it'd be too soon if I ever see your faces again. Goodbye and good riddance. I'm leaving as well. I doubt this comes as any surprise, but I never liked you. I only suffered you for your healing, but you couldn't even do that one thing right. Cruel as those may sound, you brought this upon yourself. By the way of some parting advice, get rid of Aver's head. Bury it, cremate, do whatever the hells you'd like with it. For God's sake, stop carrying it around. It's just get rid of it, alright? Well then! Wait, don't leave me alone, please. Scenes like this have become all too common. That makes a dozen times in half as many days. Now you see, while I'm grateful for adventures of your experience, I can send men like you on a mission without worrying that you might not return. Well, not so much at any rate. Speaking of missions, I would trust you with another. About a bell ago, I received a message from my counterpart. seeks the services of a reliable adventurer. Nothing if reliable. I think you might be interested in the task. Say the word and I will be glad to share the details with you. Alright, 2 down. Dungeons. Hall of the Desert. So you're not adverse to taking a little trip? Wonderful. As I mentioned earlier, the request comes to us from the Adventurers Guild in Ul'dah. Once you arrive, seek out Momodi, the proprietress of the band. Think of her as the Sultanate's version of myself. Chances are she'll send you into the midst of danger, but I have every confidence that you will pull through unscathed. Now off you go, viewer, and good luck. Back to Ul'dah. Ethernet our way to the Adventurers Guild. Hop up here. And speak, buddy. Welcome to the Quicksand, friend. I'm a tad busy right now. If you wouldn't mind showing yourself to... Oh, it's you, viewers. And there I was, spouting the same tired line. Yon sent word that you'd be reporting for duty. She also made a point of calling you the adventurer of the moment. That ain't no small praise coming from her. But you didn't come all the way here to listen to my prattle. Doubtless you're eager to get started. Let's talk business, shall we? Into a copper hell. Modi is waiting to brief you on your task. Petitioner ought to be arriving any moment now. Gods almighty, another second under that sun, I would have been set afire. Tankard of ale, if you'd be so kind. Hey, it's Papa Sean. Excellent timing, Papa Sean. It just so happens the adventurer who will be handling your petition is here. Oh, why, if it isn't my good friend yours? It does my spirit well to know that you are the one who will be helping us. Mayhap you'd like to apprise viewers of his mission? Yes, of course. The petitioner in question was submitted by an acquaintance of mine at Magina & Sons Mineral Concern. It relates to an unfortunate development at Copperbale Mines. Be plain, giants have seized control of the place. These giants are of the clan known as Hecatoncheires, fearsome creatures who were sealed within the deepest depths of the mines during the bygone Thorn Dynasty. Alas, it seems they have managed to break through the layer of rock in which served to imprison them, and now prowl the tunnels where the miners ply their trade. Creatures are justifiably angry about their treatment at the hands of our ancestors, and their presence has forced the suspension of all mining activities on the site. No wonder they're angry. Didn't the Thorn Dynasty come to an end over 300 years ago? Know your history well, milady. People of that age used the Hecatoncheires to work their mines, by way of enchanted helms. They were able to bind the ferocious creatures to their will, but, as is often the way in such tales, these enchantments eventually failed. Slaves rose up against their masters. In a desperate bid to contain the unbridled fury of the Hecatoncheires, our ancestors introduced the collapse of the mine's lowermost levels. It was that the great giant revolt was ended, buried beneath 100,000 tons of rock. Well, now, that got me thinking. I seem to recall there being an article about Copperbell Mines in the Mithril Eye a fortnight or so ago. It said that the mines were being reopened as to meet the rise in demand for building materials. Like as not, our boys dug a bit too deep and freed the giants. Gods, think the poor creatures are still alive and kicking after 3 centuries. That's a long time to nurse a grudge. They must be seething. Indeed, and that makes them a danger to us all. There will be no mining at Copperbell so long as they remain. For the sake of both peace and prosperity, they must be subdued. This is the task in which we would have you undertake. I'll not deny the mission will be rife with danger, but our need is great, and so I beg you, put an end to this sorry business. Gods bless you. I feared you might have reservations, but I assure you it is for the best. In case you didn't know, Copperbell Mines are in Western Thanalan. You take care, you hear? Ah, and one last thing before you depart. An employee of Amagina & Sons is presently at the Quicksand. The fellow's name is Painted Mesa, and he knows the Copperbell Mines well. It may behoove you to seek his counsel. That is super messed up situation. That situation is just very wrong. Looking for Painted Mesa? You found him. You're the adventurers who's volunteered to deal with the mess down in Copperbell, are you? Got guts, mate. I just hope you got skills to go with him, because things ain't pretty down there. The Hecatoncheires have left the place in a right state, an area a week after mining resumed. I don't know if you know this, but Copperbell was old when the Second Old Dynasty was still young. It was abandoned centuries ago. Hadn't been for the shortage of materials needed for a rebuilding effort, the concern would never have thought to reopen it. We knew full well about the giants beforehand, but the project went ahead anyway. I mean, nothing could possibly survive being buried under a mountain's worth of rock for 3 centuries, right? Wrong. Our miners dug up more than they bargained for. One swing of the pickaxe too many, and they found themselves in the company of giants. Unless we can subdue them, the nation's glorious recovery will grind to a halt for want of aught to build with. Stone torches are keeping a watch out over the entrance in case the giants fancy some sunlight and fresh air. One of them will be able to show you the way in. Hope for the nation's resting on you, friend. Best of luck. Well. It's close enough that we can just use the Aetherite to teleport out and fly the rest of the way there. Invisible walls. Tragic. And it's right up here. Been an incident inside Copperbell Mines. We are here to ensure that its effects are contained, but for your own safety, I suggest you stay well away from here. What? You're the adventurer who's volunteered to quell the Hecatoncheires? I didn't think that Papachon would be able to find someone so quickly, if at all. Giants are content to wreak havoc inside the mines for now, but it's only a matter of time before they think to come outside. The sooner you see to them, the better. Make ready as best you can, and enter at will. Found Dolorous Bear and his entire party dead. Giants were thorough in them. Judging by their tracks, it would seem they tried to rush a horde of creatures. I cannot say for sure what drove an experienced crew like theirs to throw caution to the wind, but I do have my suspicion. We are all our own worst critics and desire to better past achievements. Rob us of defense. Thus do we become more given to recklessness. While it's important to have goals, one must not fixate on them to the exclusion of all else. Do so and one will surely pay the price, as Dolorous Bear and his comrades did this day. I've been an adventurer for long years and borne witness to many a pivotal moment in history. Though the times may have changed, the essence of our trade has not. Adventuring has ever been a quest for self-betterment through challenges freely faced. Never shall it remain so. As an adventurer becomes more experienced, he will naturally acquire a love of justice and an understanding of the spirit of self-sacrifice. Such experience cannot be measured in any tangible way, yet it most assuredly shapes who we are, grounded as it is in the we have made on our journey and their consequences, good or ill. I sense a light within you, young one, and it tells me that you are destined for greatness. Poor Dolorous Bear and his party. They seemed like nice people. Alright, Copperbell Mines it is. Oh! Oh, that's a fun boss. Okay, one of the bosses here is an absolute delight. It's a mechanics-focused one. Cannot beat it by just fighting it at normal level. In fact, I will make sure to beat it the proper way. Just to show an example, because it's a lot of fun. There's the first Pectockery. You can see, fairly large. Fairly large and highly muscular. So through this dungeon, you need to collect fire sand, since you need to clear specific areas of rubble. And apparently the optimal way to do that is to blow them up. Blow the rubble up. We're almost to the first one. Fire sand up here. We place it in the powder chamber. And activate the blasting device. And then we run in. Alright, Screaming Dark. Now, this is the worst boss fight in the game. Because really, it's just not. It's just waiting. Anyone can kill these guys in 2 hits. By anyone can kill these guys in 2 hits, I mean at level. Should have a little, I believe it's a flambeau showing up soon. There it is. More Spriggans. One more flambeau, and then the actual boss shows up. And he's also kind of lame. Nope, we got some more Spriggans. You can actually see a treasure coffer through there. That pops up a little later. Okay, I think this is the flambeau. Last. There it is. There's the boss. Got him. That treasure coffer is over there. Run into it on our way up here. Now, interesting tidbit about these enemies in this little part right here, these two. They are errant souls, they're ghosts. But they'll actually reset. See, there's the treasure coffer that we saw back there. Watch what happens when I enter this room and they proceed to try and follow me. That's what we call resetting. You've left their range. They can wander. They try to walk up to you and then they're like, nah, I give up. It's something that can be used to your advantage sometimes, and sometimes it just backfires. Like if you're trying to kite as a bard or a class that can move around while attacking, sometimes you can accidentally reset them and it will fully restore their HP. Okay, the blasting cap, that little fiery looking enemy, dropped some of the fire sand. Did this one. So we now have the 12 ounces of fire sand that we need. Okay. Now, I'm way over leveled. Watch how little damage I do when I auto-attack this boss. Doing 136 damage, which is... I mean, it's not a crazy amount, but it's way more than someone at this level would be doing. Check that out. It's plastic caps. We're going to step right outside the range of that plastic caps explosion. And it split this slime enemy into two. Now, tell me that's not fantastic dungeon boss design right there. I love it. And I believe we get an enemy that tries to destroy the blasting cap here. You want to make it, you know, not do that. Note to everybody, if you're playing a tank and actually stand inside that area, that will still do an insane amount of damage to you at level. If you're not pretty well geared, it can actually kill you. Cool, good enough on the dodges. Anyway, once you have 8 of them, it's kind of done. Another interesting note about hitboxes in this game. See this? Only the exact center pixel is where you take damage if you get hit. For enemies, their entire area can take damage, but for your character, it's only the center pixel. Which lets you get away with some really ridiculous dodges sometimes. You can stand what looks like in the middle of multiple AoEs and just not get hit. And it's actually pretty important mechanic for some classes sometimes. When your best movement is... when you're just constantly casting on a black mage, and you can only get like tiny movements in between. That's actually really useful. I think I'm always gonna like those little falls right here. Never really get a chance to look at them when you're going through a dungeon with people. It's just kind of one of those things. It's generally accepted that when you're in a dungeon with people, you just try and get through very quickly, but it doesn't give you a chance to kind of look at the place. Sometimes you'll find some really cool stones. They definitely put a lot of work into them. They've turned a lot of them into real storytelling. Just a couple expansions as well. Alright, usually when you fight this boss, he runs off at a certain point and starts trying to break open rocks. Well, here you go. Story attached to this dungeon doesn't make you feel a little uncomfortable. And I don't know what to say. So eventually, a certain amount of time into the fight, he'll walk over to the boulder and he'll start attacking it. And once he frees one of the, once he breaks the boulder, it will actually start summoning ads. And those ads will, move over to this one and try to break that open. And it's just kind of adds over time thing. Or is it percentage based? It's probably percentage based because I would have thought he would have gone by now. Well, here goes. Goodbye. Alright. I suppose we'll report to Painted Main. Quicksand. Huh. Thing. Okay, so it doesn't let you go through there. Side. I was kind of wondering. Alright, so we finished that sequence. They just kind of put you in 3 different dungeons towards the beginning of... Kind of throwing a couple dungeons that you just get used to. Make you explore areas the areas you haven't been. It's a smart way to design it. I really like it. Side note, if that side story about the Hekatonkeries does make you a little bit uncomfortable, I don't know what to say, because it certainly made me uncomfortable. Duty calls, commence battle for Into a Copper Hell. Try that out. Instant, event? Ah, the Conqueror of Copperbell returns. Thanks to you, our mining operations can resume. Law will have the materials she needs to rebuild. The entire nation's in your debt, friend. I'll share the good tidings with Papa Sean next time I see him. And as for you, you'll want to report to the woman well to see you alive and in. Mystery scream, and off we go. Shut your mouth, you thief. Wine you stole from me. Don't even think to deny it. Please, sir, I didn't steal nothing. I bought this, paid for it with me own coin. What a rot. You refugees are all the same. Couldn't afford maggoty mole meat, much less a cut choice of dodo. I'm going to say it one more time. Give back what you stole, or I'll make you'd never set foot in this town. By rights, I should turn you over to the brass blades, you know. Help keep the streets safe for law-abiding citizens. But I'm a reasonable man. If you agree to serve me, your capacity I require, the authorities crime. What? Ugh. But I ain't done nothing wrong. 12 is me witness. Please, adventurer, help me. We're on my mother's grave. I didn't steal nothing. Bought this with the coin I'd saved. I beat me children to it. Who the hell are you when you're at home? Dog's master? Had enough of this mummer farce. Lot, teach them a lesson. Okay, now this one level 6 here, so I should be the default level for this class. Well, not the default level, but 21, I believe. We're at level 6. Oh, yikes, I don't even have, Gracia. All I can do is this one button. At least I could, in theory, res someone if I needed to. A lot of good that does. Oh, I don't have AoE either. Oh well. At least these guys go down pretty easy. I ain't getting paid enough for this. Hey, where the hell do you think you're going? What an asshole. Thank you, kind adventure. Thank you thrice over. I'd swear there were more refugees than when I last looked. Wouldn't be mistaken. It's been 5 years since the calamity. Why are they only coming here now? Simple, really. While a number of hamlets survived the immediate aftermath of the calamity, no longer able to support their community. Residents found their lands had either been or cut off from trade routes. Problems like those aren't solved. They tried to make the best of it, only a matter of time before they abandoned their life in the city. The calamity affected the whole realm, didn't it? Same thing happening and the other. Talk is true, yes. Though perhaps our situation now still has a reputation for being prosperous. Natural that the refugees try their luck. My heart goes out to them, it really does, but I would be lying if I said that I wasn't apprehensive. Their present lawlessness in the city. Well, if things do take a turn for the worse, we always have the immortal flames. I dare say the brass blade help. Heroes who fought the Garlean Empire patrol streets for riffraff? May well come to that. Impoverished and desperate as they are, you may be a refugee. Crime. You know what this... No coin, you've no hope. What will become of our city? Not all refugees find employment lives. Guaranteed Synthanoan. Your custom Adam. Brown, you'd think that old Dob was well on his way to recovery. Peer through the veil of prosperity and see no end to the miserable suffering. Sir? You alright? What now? You mean to threaten a defenseless citizen? What? Saw her buy that meat, you say? That's absurd. Aye, as did I. Leave the poor woman alone, you damnable vulture. I will overlook this, but just this once. Asshole. God's bless you, adventurer. If you hadn't come along when you did, who knows what that monster don't bear thinking about. All's well that ends well. We meet again. Pray do not mistake my intent, for it is always honorable. I have been watching you ever since you departed, Ulda. Played the part of envoy to perfection, confident as a man on a diplomatic mission. Yet unfailingly courteous to your travels led you into faced it without so much as a flinch. You, my friend, are quite a marvel, and I confess to being somewhat in awe of you. But my lavish praise continues. Most of all, I was struck by your readiness to aid those in need. When words were all the reward you could expect to receive. Such selflessness, a rare thing. All of which leads me to that you were adventurer possessed of a very rare set of qualities. To be sure, your rescue of that damsel in distress was more of a happy accident. Rescue her you did, and that is what matters in the end. I feel I should mention at this point that I also harbor a burning talent of yours. I speak of your visions. You have been experiencing visions, have you not? Well, it just so happens that I know a woman who shares your talent. I'll help you to understand it. She and I belong to the same organization. We should both be delighted beyond words if you agree to join our cause. Naturally, there are benefits to being part of such a collective. For one, we should be glad to assist you in realizing your potential as an... You need not give your answer now. Think upon it, and if you feel moved to help us, as I pray you shall, speak with Momodi, the ever-lovely and youthful... Tell her the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have found their man, and she will tell you where to find us. All right. So we're going to bring this quest in, and from there, I think it's time to call it a stream. Scenes like that are becoming more common. Afraid. Don't worry though. If you work hard, you'll probably be able. Saying that, if you ever find yourself in a spot of bother, come and see me. Just don't go pestering me every time you graze your knee. Of course, I do enjoy hearing tell of a gentleman time to time. Side note, if you notice, that guy had a knife, not a sword. Active. Wait, I was just providing guidance to a fresh-off-the-carriage adventurer. But gods, it's good to see you safe and well. Look at you, no one would ever guess you'd been hard at it. Giants in the dark. I never doubted for a moment that you'd succeed, of course, and neither did Papa Sean, which ain't to say he won't be overjoyed. Oh, before I forget, there's a lass here who wants a word with you. Didn't actually know your name, but hearing her description, I knew who she meant right away. Was it the Horns? Thanks for sparing the time. I realize you don't know me, but I've been longing to speak with you for a while now. It's that girl! One who was carrying around her boyfriend's head. Boyfriend's head. Name is Edda. I'm an adventurer like you, though not very good at being one. Friends in Gridon. Sorry, we were in... The leader of our party was killed. His name was Aver, and he and I were too. May not remember him, but to say that he remembered you he would sing your praises from dawn to dusk. He saw you for what you adventurers, or that he would be like. I believe that he would have succeeded, not robbed him of the chance. That day, I have thought long and hard about giving up adventuring. When I think of the man you are, of all that you have achieved, I find that I am inspired, just as Bear once was. So I've decided to start again as an adventurer. I will go back to the village of my birth and begin training anew. But I wanted to meet you first, ask you your name. Yours and ours, I shan't forget. Thank you, viewer. Pray that we will meet. Fare you well. Adventuring can be... Time was, I didn't know why anyone would bother. First asked me to take charge of the guild here. I didn't want aught to do with you lot. Thought it might be a right pain in the arse looking after you all. But against my better judgment, I decided to accept the post, and I'm full glad I did. I feel privileged to be part of your lives. That goes double for you, viewers. What did you say? Want to know about the signs of the Seventh Dawn? They're beginning to move in earnest, then. Listen, viewers, the signs ain't no ordinary folk, and the work they do ain't no ordinary work. I know full well how capable you are, but even you would think twice about attempting some... Knowing that, if you're still certain you want to get involved, I'll tell you what I can. So, for next time, what will she tell me? What will I find out? Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Currently, I'm streaming this New Game Plus run on Twitch Tuesdays at 11 AM Pacific Time, and I upload by the end of the week. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, or check me out on Twitch. Link is in the description.